Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Sure. In SAP, the enhancement framework allows developers to add custom functionality without modifying the original code base. One common enhancement is to assign standard text to a transport request, which can be particularly useful for documenting changes made in a transport. Overview of the so10 enhancement. The so10 transaction in SAP is used to manage standard texts. When you create or modify standard texts, you may want to include a reference to a transport request. This can help in tracking changes and ensuring that relevant descriptions are transported correctly through different environments, example development to quality assurance to production. Steps to enhance so10 and assign standard text to transport request. 1. Create a customer exit or badi. Determine the appropriate enhancement point where you can add your custom logic. In the case of so10, you may need to look for badis or user exits related to text management. 2. Implement the logic. Write the code to fetch the transport request and assign it to the standard text. 3. Test the implementation. Make sure that the transport request is correctly assigned when creating or modifying standard texts. Example code. Here's a simplified example of how you might implement this in a BAP. Step 1. Find an enhancement point. For this example, let's consider using a badi. You can use transaction SE18 to find a suitable badi for enhancing so10. Step 2. Implement the badi. Let's assume we found a badi named badi_so10_text_management. You would implement this badi in transaction SE19. Step 3. Write the implementation code. Here's an example code snippet that might be included in your badi implementation. Explanation of the code. Method definition. The method modify_text is part of the badi interface, where you can implement your custom logic. Transport request retrieval. The transport request, SY_trigger, is fetched from the system variable. Loop through text data. The code loops through the text_data where the standard texts are stored and assigns the transport request to a custom field, transport_request, in the text structure. Modification of text. The modify statement updates the text data with the new transport request. Step 4. Activate and test. After implementing the logic. 1. Activate the badi implementation. 2. Test the so10 transaction by creating or modifying standard texts. 3. Check if the transport request is correctly assigned. Conclusion. By following the steps outlined above, you can effectively enhance the so10 transaction to assign standard text to a transport request. This approach allows for better documentation and tracking of changes across different environments in your SAP landscape. Remember to test thoroughly and ensure that your enhancements do not impact the standard functionality negatively.